Trump issued an ultimatum demanding that Maduro resign immediately. The consistently tough Maduro rarely backed down, proposing a compromise plan that requested an 18-month transition period. But this was rejected by Trump. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Trump recently held a phone call with Maduro. During the call, Trump issued a warning demanding that Maduro resign immediately, and the United States could promise to provide safe evacuation guarantees for Maduro and his relatives. In response, Maduro proposed a compromise plan. During the call, he himself was willing to pave the way for free elections in Venezuela, but needed an 18-month transition period, hinting that he was willing to resign after 18 months. Additionally, Maduro requested that the United States drop all charges against him. The Wall Street Journal reported that Trump immediately rejected these two demands from Maduro and issued an ultimatum, ordering Maduro to leave Venezuela immediately. Otherwise, he would face the consequences. One day before the two men's phone call, Trump had already announced the full closure of Venezuela's airspace. Although the United States has not established a no-fly zone over Venezuela, given the U.S. military's presence around Venezuela, major airlines have still suspended direct flights to Venezuela. According to information from international flight tracking websites, currently, apart from Venezuela's own flights, there are no flights from airlines of other countries over Venezuela's airspace. Since the United States launched military pressure on Venezuela in August, it has deployed 14 warships in the Caribbean Sea, including the U.S. military's most advanced USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. Additionally, starting from September, the U.S. military has been renovating the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station, which has been closed for 20 years, located on the eastern coast of Puerto Rico, repairing and upgrading runways and aviation equipment. According to a report by the New York Times, F-35 fighter jets and U.S. Marine Corps units have now entered the base. This indicates that the Pentagon has made preparations for potential military operations. It has been more than 3 months since the U.S. military's first batch of maritime forces was deployed off the coast of Venezuela. U.S. media have disclosed that sources within the Pentagon stated that the fleet cannot stay in the Caribbean Sea indefinitely. Therefore, the suspense over whether to fight or not should not last much longer. After the phone call with Maduro, Trump immediately convened a National Security Council meeting, attended by core members of the U.S. leadership and the National Security Team to discuss response strategies for Venezuela. Although the White House has not revealed specific outcomes, clues can be found from Trump's foreign policies during his 2 terms in office. At present, Trump has prepared a 2-pronged approach for Maduro if he can coerce Maduro into stepping down without resorting to force. That would be the best method. Hence, Trump has not ruled out dialogue with Maduro. However, if this fails to achieve the goal, it cannot be ruled out that Trump will choose to use military force. Although Trump has always claimed to love peace, during his previous term, he ordered the assassination of Soleimani. At the start of his current term, he immediately ordered airstrikes against the Houthi rebels and subsequently bombed Iranian nuclear facilities. It can be seen that Trump is no less hesitant to use military force than previous U.S. presidents. Nevertheless, one thing is true: his attitude toward launching wars, even large-scale ground operations, is indeed very cautious. Combined with the U.S. military's troop deployment targeting Venezuela and Venezuela's actual situation, it can be said that the possibility of Trump launching a large-scale ground operation is basically negligible. The remaining options, therefore, are limited airstrikes on Venezuela's military and political targets as well as critical infrastructure, creating a high-pressure situation on Venezuela domestically and Maduro personally to force Maduro to step down. The other option is to launch a direct decapitation strike targeting Maduro himself. Although Maduro must have long been prepared for this, the CIA has extensive reach, and there are also large groups in Venezuela dissatisfied with not entirely impossible. For Maduro now, it is a dilemma. He insists on resisting to the end. The risks are extremely high. After all, Venezuela is a small country with limited strength, no match for the United States. Once defeated, not only he himself, but also his family may face retaliation. But if he chooses to step down now, he fears that Trump will go back on his word afterward. By then, he will have no power or influence left and can only be at the mercy of others. This contradiction is also reflected in his actions. On one hand, Maduro is actively creating an aura of resolute resistance domestically, delivering successive tough speeches and holding various military exercises one after another. On the other hand, he backed down during the phone call with Trump, willing to step down as long as there is a transition period. However, after being rejected by Trump, Maduro does not have many choices left. What awaits him is either to act prudently and step down voluntarily, or to risk everything and resist to the end. As for what choice Maduro will ultimately make, we can only wait and see.